blockers, they are in a bad way. And even with more aerial blockers, they're not going to have enough. They're going to get 2 aerial blockers total here. Now looking at 9 total health available, but we're going to be able to drop one of their blockers on this next turn with the ability given to us by the Firja's Retribution. Just for good measure, we'll drop another Rampage of the Valkyries, put this game solidly out of reach, and we will take the Righteous Valkyrie. Give him the good game. And we will take the victory. Hello and welcome to the Florida Men Gaming. I am Furion and today we will be playing Magic: The Gathering Arena. This season we are looking to work our way from Bronze to Mythic and have some fun along the way. But before we get started, I would like to ask you to like and subscribe. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers and would love to have you along for the journey. If you're over on Rumble, please hit that Rumble button and show us some love. So for today's deck, we are going to be playing an Orzhov Angels deck that I have dubbed Angels on High. This deck is designed to compete in the mid-range and be a very good counter to just about anything we might run into. Something that can stand toe-to-toe potentially with the bigger Dragons decks, something that can slug it out with the Clerics, and hopefully get underneath the control decks and swing in for big damage very quickly. For this deck, we are playing a series of Angels. The key to our strategy is the Righteous Valkyrie, which is the key to most Cleric strategies. This 2/4 flying is an amazing card as it pumps based on pretty much everything in our hand. Angel enters the battlefield, we get life based on its toughness. Cleric enters the battlefield, we get life based on its toughness. This will be supplemented by the Angel of Unity. This is a uncommon alchemy card, which 1 and a white, it pumps cards in our hand if clerics enter the battlefield. The beauty of our Angels deck is most of our Angels also happen to be clerics, so there's very little that we have that won't end up triggering the Angel of Unity. So when this pumps something in hand, so we play the Angel of Unity, it pumps, let's say the Starnheim Aspirant. That card, when it enters the battlefield, will have a higher toughness, which will give us more health back with the Valkyrie. Other cards that we'll be playing here that will help us with our aggro build are the Youthful Valkyrie, 4 copies, which this card is a 1 and a white uncommon from the Call Time set. Whenever another Angel enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on the Youthful Valkyrie. We'll also be playing 3 copies of the Starnheim Aspirant. This card is glorious. If you haven't played it, you need to be playing this. Angel spells you cast cost 2 less to cast. This takes your Righteous Valkyrie and makes it a 1 mana spell. That is devastating. You can get to 3 mana, cast your Starnheim Aspirant, and then your entire hand can come down on the next turn. That can flip an entire game on its head by turn 4. We are playing 1 copy of the Legion Angel with its partners in the sideboard. That card is a 4/3. It lets us sneak some more Angels into our deck without going over the 60 card limit. 4 copies of the Vengeful Reaper for a little bit of death touch, just in case we do run into something a little bigger than we want to deal with. This card will be there to intimidate them and keep them off the attack path. The other upside to this card is it has haste, so if we need to get something down quickly and get it in for some quick damage, it is available for that. 4 copies of Firja's Retribution. Now, not entirely sure how this is pronounced. I'm going with more of a Norse pronunciation, or at least I'm telling myself it's a Norse pronunciation by rolling that J like a Y. But this is an amazing saga that comes from, again, the Call Time set. For 1, 2 white, and a black, you can create a 4/4 white Angel Warrior creature token with flying and vigilance. Now, the beauty of this is it, once again, gives you a 4 mana hit to trigger your Righteous Valkyrie. On Saga Step 2, until the end of turn, Angels you control gain tap and destroy target creature with power less than this creature's power. Beauty of this card, because it comes in with flying and vigilance, you can attack in, then after it's been queued for attack, tap it and take out a blocker at that point. And then the final step of the saga, Angels you control gain double strike until the end of turn. So if you haven't already won the game by step 2, you're going to win it by step 3 because there's not much that can stand in the way of what comes down afterwards. The other enchantment that we're going to run tying into the Angels is Rampage of the Valkyries. This is a board clearing enchantment right here. For 3, a white, and a black, when Rampage of the Valkyries enters the battlefield, you create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying and vigilance. And whenever an angel you control dies, each other player sacrifices a creature. If you start stacking these up on the board, you could, with the death of one angel, cause them to sacrifice most of their field. And it lets you be very selective in how you assign blockers for the purposes of making them lose their entire field with only a handful of blocks. Other angels we'll be playing to supplement our deck's win conditions. 2 copies of the Angel of Destiny. 3 and 2 white. This is a flying double strike creature. This, when it strikes the face or any creature you control does damage to the opponent, they no longer take that damage completely. They will gain back life equal to the damage that they took, and you will gain life equal to the damage that was dealt. If you have 15 life more than your starting life total, and the Angel of Destiny attacks on that turn, you automatically win the game. 2 copies of Liesa, the Forgotten Archangel. 2 white and a black. This flying lifelink legendary creature angel, whenever another non-token creature you control dies, return that card to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. If a creature an opponent controls would die, exile instead. So it keeps your dying angels from actually dying. 2 copies of the Valkyrie Harbinger. Why? Because why not? This is a flying lifelink 4/5 for 4 and 2 white. At the beginning of each end step, if you gained 4 or more life this turn, create a 4/4 white angel creature with flying and vigilance. So we're going to have potentially lots of flying and vigilant tokens. This will trigger on its first turn coming down if you have a Valkyrie on the board. And with the Valkyrie constantly pumping life back into your game, this card should have no problem creating endless supplies of tokens to hopefully continue to trigger off on your Rampage of the Valkyries. Very excited to take this deck onto the ladder and see how it performs. I have very high hopes for it. I know that when I've played it in play queue and done some minor tuning and testing of it, it has been monstrous. So this will be a fun one, and hopefully it turns out well. With that, we will see you in the gameplay. All right, we have an opponent. This hand is a little light on mana. We're going to go ahead and take a risky keep here and see if it pays off for us. I'm going to go ahead and lead with white. No, that is not the direction we want to go. We're looking to get our mana curve on track. A couple of great enchantments here, but they are ways off at this point. Opponent foretelling. Angel of Unity, that'll at least get us moving in a good direction here. We're going to go ahead and pump the Aspirant. Give it a little more staying power, although chances are the opponent's running direct removal and or bounce spells based on the Azorius color base. Opponent now up to 3. There's the next mana. Question is, does this get hard countered? We're going to go ahead and see if we can bait out a Divide by Zero or a Fading Hope. Opponent not playing ball. Alright, let's see if they've got Jawaris. Oh, the opponent lets it hit the board. Color me shocked. Now we are... Oh, there's the Doomscar. There's a reason. And now we know what they foretold. Another Jawari Disruption comes down. Alright. Firja's Retribution. 4/4 Flying Vigilance Angel. Very susceptible to bounce spells. See if the opponent elects to Fading Hope. Oh, they elect to do a direct removal. That is okay. I mean, maybe it's not okay, but I'll take it. Let's see what we get off the top. Ooh, another Aspirant. We're going to go ahead and take that. See if we can play that down. We have 1 mana open to fight off a potential Jawari Disruption. And this makes our Valkyrie Harbinger a little more economical. A divide by 0, opponent not willing to let that happen. To the Fairy. Well, this just got more annoying. The opponent has elected to pull cards. Okay, and they tapped all the way down. That is very beneficial, especially now that we have the Rampage of the Valkyries mana available. This will now keep them from directly attacking our creatures in a big way. At least if they plan on putting creatures on the board, they have a number of things they can do with their particular archetype. Looks like they might try and divide by 0 the enchantment. They will have to deal with the angel, because this angel will come at the Teferi first thing. There's Namiria's call. The opponent has elected to play some blockers. I'm going to go ahead and play down the Aspirant, force the opponent to lose both angels or save the Teferi. That's a very expensive spell, now wasted. Opponent has elected once again to minus the Teferi, so they're not rapidly trying to get themselves up to 7. I think it's because they know they're going to have a hard time keeping him on the board. Let's see if they found an answer for the Aspirant. Opponent taking their time. Liesa, Disciple of the Drowned. They have 2 mana, 3 mana available. And the Fateful Absence. That is not a good call on their part. As we will now play the next Rampage of the Valkyries. And I should have played the Vengeful Reaper. That is an oversight on my part. The Reaper would have been able to haste past the Liesa and go right after the Teferi. Opponent taking their time is one of the annoying hallmarks of a Azorius player is their lack of urgency. Let's see what they elect to do with the Teferi. I think the only option is the plus. Alright, there's the plus. They've now untapped. Let's see if they play that Environmental Sciences. Alright. Opponent having 1 white mana. I'm going to go ahead and play down the Vengeful Reaper. And get rid of one of these clues. Ooh, another Vengeful Reaper. We'll go ahead and tap all the way down. The mana doesn't mean as much to us as it does to them. And they will probably take both of them, but they're going to lose the air in the process. Uh-oh.
This is hardly my worst defeat.
They may have another Teferi sitting on deck, and if they do, this could be a blowout. Then again, the Rampage of the Valkyries does present a very dangerous target. With Liesa and the Harbinger sitting on deck waiting to enter the battlefield this next turn, we have a lot of great options available to us. It's just a matter of how much mana do they leave up, and is Liesa still an available threat for them? The opponent is contemplating. Once again, time is not something that they seem to make good use of. There's Divide by Zero, removing one of the enchantments, so they are electing to swing in here. Looks like they're going to try and force us to play the block. There's another Divide by Zero, so they get both Rampages off the board, which means they can swing away. And they still have mana open to do it again. Well, that is unfortunate for us. We'll go ahead and take it. And by take it, I mean take one of the two. Go ahead and play that one out on black. Let's see if they elect to Divide by Zero. Nope, they leave it. Go ahead and leave them both up. Opponents still taking their time. They've got a mascot exhibition ready to go. Go ahead and take their angel. There's the mascot exhibition. And they still have Divide by Zero mana on hold. Alright, we now have enough to replay both Rampage of the Valkyries through a Divide by Zero. Question is, which Divide by Zero do we deal with? We deal with the one that's in the graveyard. And they have Reduced to Memory on hold. And I did my math wrong. Math not my strong suit. Rampage of Valkyries is sitting in the side. We're going to go ahead and take their biggest piece. Alright, Youthful Valkyrie coming down. We'll get a minor pump from this Rampage, but the Reduced to Memory that they've got on deck is going to create all sorts of problems for us, as they'll probably just elect to remove the enchantment. They've memory deluged. Now we just have to wait for the Reduced to Memory. Oh, they Fading Hope. Interesting. It is a shame that the Fading Hope on a token doesn't count towards a removal spell. And another Fading Hope. We're not even going to wait, guys. This is it. Alright, we have an opponent. This hand is playable, but like the last game, or depending on where this ends up in the video queue, 2 mana is a little on edge of the seat here. We'll go ahead and keep it, but it's a risk. Opponent leading with Cleric's class. That is a big indicator as to what we could be facing off against here. And we have our land. We're going to go ahead and lead with the Righteous Valkyrie. Not Righteous, Youthful Valkyrie. Too many cards with similar naming components. Alright, do they have a follow-up so that they can start pumping the Hallowed Priest? Uh-oh. This is where it gets interesting. I don't think that mono white has any immediate removal. We're going to go ahead and actually set ourselves up for a terrifying turn for the opponent. You can go ahead and attack. It's just going to be our party. Righteous Valkyrie down. Angel of Unity comes up next. And we'll go ahead and swing. keep their life total in check so that when their own Righteous Valkyrie hits the board, we are not in a bad way. There's an Inquisitor Captain. That is unfortunate for us. There's the Righteous Valkyrie. And the Hallowed Priests are getting big. We're going to go ahead and let him through. Say goodbye to the Righteous Valkyrie. Say hello to the Youthful Valkyrie. And we'll go ahead and swing in. Keep their life total somewhat in check and see what comes down after that. Oh, they're electing to pump. Do they have a 1-mana follow-on? Oh, interesting call on the opponent's part. I think they thought better of it. And incoming Rampage of the Valkyries. Ladies and gentlemen, this game may have just gone out of reach for our opponent. With the 5/7 Valkyrie, the 4/4 flying angel, they are in a bad way, as now they will have to sacrifice if I lose any angel creatures. And I don't believe they have any targeted enchantment removal, which means we could be in a very good position here. Another land, that is not what we were wanting there. Go ahead and attack in with our lifelink, pump the entire field and our vigilance just because we can. They're going to have to make a choice on that Angel of Unity. Do they take the 4 damage or do they sacrifice? Alright, they gain their life, which means they're going to effectively start pumping up, but our entire field just got big. Counters are going to come flying. Let's see where they elect to attack. They're going to have to attack at some point. Oh, they scoop. I think they realized that they did not have an option. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on the board with a win. Alrighty, we have an opponent. Professor Onyx Avatar could be facing down a mono black, but we have a very exciting hand to start off. The 3 land we need to really hit the most important parts of our curve, some removal, and a card for number 4. We're going to go ahead and play out without revealing. Since we don't have a 1-drop, no sense in giving them the thought that they have any advantage here. Tainted Adversary. We're going to go ahead and lead with the Youthful Valkyrie. With the land now available to drop both Firja's Retributions, we are in a really good place. Opponent mills out a bunch of land. We're going to go ahead and let that through. We don't have any major concerns at this time as it relates to their ability to do damage to us. I'm going to go ahead and play out the Angel of Unity. And give them back the 2 damage they decided to take. Another Tainted Adversary. So the opponent flooding the field with Death Touch. We're going to go ahead and slow play this just a little bit because we have the option now to pump both of these Youthful Valkyries with the Firja's Retributions. And go ahead and just tempo it, get ourselves 1 life back, leveled us off with the opponent, now both down to 17. And we leave these up, just in the event that they believe that opponent mills out more land and a targeted removal spell. That is good for us. Go ahead and let that through. Once again, we are in a really good position. No major worries as it relates to the opponent. And they're gone. We just proved to be too much for them here. That and the fact that they really milled out all of the lands they might need to play a decent game. I feel bad for them. Those undead butlers turned out to just bite them right in the butt. With that, we move on to the next one. Alright, we have found our next opponent. And this hand is a good keep. We're going to go ahead and take that. A little bit interesting in not having all the colors of mana we might normally like to have, but with the Starnheim Aspirant being able to get super pumped here, if it survives potential exile from what could be a mono-white opponent across from us, we can get out a very cheap Angel of Destiny very soon here. Opponent showing Azorius colors and electing to pump the Luminarch Aspirant. Gonna go ahead and pump up this Aspirant. Let's see what the opponent elects to do here. Another Usher of the Fallen coming down. Oh, and there's the mana fix that we needed. Gonna go ahead and play out the Aspirant. And we'll start pumping the Angel of Destiny. This is huge for us, as this next turn we'll be able to drop down the Righteous Valkyrie followed by the Angel of Unity. And if we survive long enough, this is going to spiral out of control. Uh-oh. The opponent is now going to see our play line, and that will put us in trouble. Do they choose the Valkyrie? They do. It makes sense. It would be the card that they would be most scared of. I'll still be able to double cast, though, which is big. Not afraid of that, because we are about to have a bunch of... Oh, it just gets better and better for us, folks. Go ahead and add a tick to the Angel of Unity that we'll play next. Give ourselves 4 life back off the top. And we'll pump the Angel of Destiny. That card is going to come down in a scary way on this next turn. Go ahead and hold up. We are in no rush here. Inquisitor Captain coming down once again. If they get another Spellbinder, that will be bad for us. Skyclave Captain. Skyclave Apparition. When you can't speak, you can't speak. Oh, and they hit us right where it hurts. I'm going to need to draw a land to be able to play into the rest of our strategy here. I'm going to go ahead and trade with the Spellbinder. No need to give them any easy outs. That is a good piece. And we are now big. We'll go ahead and give us a little bit of health cushion here so that if anything slips through, we can take it. They could also end up landing another exile spell, which would be bad for us, and we'll end a Guardian Evangel. They're going to tap down some of our blocking opportunities, but we do have big enough threats that they may not decide to attack all the way through. Figured that was coming. Let's see what they move with. They're going to have to move with something if they want any chance here. Okay. We're going to go ahead and take the Vigilance. Not that we have anything on the ground that we're worried about them taking. Somehow I must have done the math wrong. Oh, no, I didn't. Oh, and there's the land we're going to need for the next turn. Firja's Retribution is going to give us a massive hit here. Opponent now down to 5. And we have a 6/6 on the board waiting. 31 available health. Glasspool Mimic coming down. Skyclave Apparition taking the Righteous Valkyrie, but that's okay. We don't need it at this point. We're going to let it through. We're not worried. And the opponent has left the building. Ladies and gentlemen, we proved to be too much for them. We are happy to take that. This deck stabilizing itself and staying well within bounds of being able to be a monster. Alright, we have an opponent. Oko Sleeve, or Oko Avatar. This is a good hand. We're going to go ahead and keep it. Taking 4 lands off the start, I'm never going to say no to that, as most of our important things come in at 3 mana. The question is going to be, do we draw the 5th land for the Rampage of Valkyries, and do they have ways to stop our game plan? We will soon find out, as the opponent is electing what their first play is going to be. Alright, plains down on 1. We're going to show initially a mono white, make them think that they know what we're doing. Alright, we've got the 5th land. The question is now, though, against yet another Azorius deck, is this going to be feasible for us, or is this another control meta? And by meta, I mean, is it another control deck? Opponent showing both the blue and the white, and they lead off with the Voice of the Blessed. So this is some kind of life gain strategy, and I am okay with that. Harbinger now getting pumped. We have a good amount of opportunity here to have a good day. We have enough time potentially that they're showing now no longer Azorius, but Esper. Oh, and another Valkyrie. That is glorious, as we needed something to stabilize on the way up. That will put us to 25 health. This will bring us to 26. Next turn, we're going to get the Rampage of the Valkyries going, and this game will effectively be out of reach potentially for this opponent. Do they see it, or are they going to wait that long? Opponent may just think we're playing clerics. I don't think they realize that this is a full Angels archetype. It is now up to them to decide if they want to continue going. So far, it's looking like they're going to go. Oh, there's Skyclave Apparition. They're going to take our big Valkyrie, but it's too little too late for them at this point. There's just not enough that they're going to be able to do. 1 white mana available, essentially, here. Incoming Rampage. And now I think the opponent's going to have a better idea of what they're dealing with. We've got no fear here. The opponent is a life gain deck, so we're going to take health off them as often as we can. Their own Righteous Valkyrie coming down. They're going to get 1 health off of the Clerical Life Spawn that will help pump the Voice of the Blessed, but they need something, and I just don't see them having it. Alright, we're going to play the Furious Retribution. Give another massive pump of health to our situation and just swing all the way home. Once again, the opponent not having anything that can truly stand in our way. They've got 10 damage. It's going to hit them directly in the face. And at this point, we don't even need to worry about blocking. Opponent now up to 6 mana. Do they have a wipe? Aura. Well, in most other circumstances, that would be a great pickup, but without any more aerial blockers, they are in a bad way. And even with more aerial blockers, they're not going to have enough. They're going to get 2 aerial blockers total here. Now looking at 9 total health available, but we're going to be able to drop one of their blockers on this next turn with the ability given to us by the Firja's Retribution. Just for good measure, we'll drop another Rampage of the Valkyries, put this game solidly out of reach, and we will take the Righteous Valkyrie. Give him the good game. And we will take the victory. Those are satisfying wins, folks. The only thing that I like more than clerics is angels. And with that, we move into the next tier of platinum. Alright, and we're back. That was a blast. This deck performed beyond my wildest expectations. We're going to pull up the stats here brought to us by untapped.gg. overall, we went 4-1 with this deck. We had a 50-50 rate against Azorius. I believe one of them only showed us as Azorius, but I believe it was an Esper deck. We went 1-0 versus Clerics, 1-0 against Mono Black, and 1-0 against Clerics. This deck was monstrous. It just showed up, and again, Righteous Valkyrie is a terrifying card. This was a very demoralizing deck for the opponent to face down if they weren't in a full control scheme. We did run into trouble with a control deck as they were able to bounce our threats back off the board, eliminate key pieces that were helping us get ourselves into good position, and just keep us overall off balance as we tried to build up our aggro state. But on decks that weren't designed to really deal with us that quickly, this was a disaster for them. Interestingly enough, cards that we never really got a chance to get down to the battlefield, Liesa the Forgotten Archangel, we never even saw, if I remember correctly. Didn't see the Legion Angel, but with one of in the main deck, it is likely that you have a hard time running into them. And the Valkyrie Harbinger I did have in my hand at one point. I don't think I ever got it down to the board. Angel of Destiny, I believe I got down at least once, but it didn't really affect anything when it came down. Rampage of the Valkyries, though, great deterrent card. Firja's Retribution definitely won us a game. Vanishing Verse just helping us pick off key threats. And again, the linchpins to this deck, the Righteous Valkyrie, the Angels of Unity, and the Youthful Valkyries really kind of scaled off each other massively. Because they're 4-ofs, they appeared very frequently and really helped us along the way to victory. This deck took us into the next tier of Platinum. Excited to continue this journey as we move along from Bronze to Mythic, and we will see you in the next one. With that, this is Furion from the Florida Men Gaming, signing off.